Hello art friends. Today we're going to be working on making a paper spider. And to start with, let's make sure we have all our materials. So you should have your spider template, a glue stick, scissors, crayons, and at the end you're going to need the ribbon that has a loop on the end and a piece of tape. To start with, you are going to get to color in your spider any way that you want. Here are the eyes that we'll be cutting out, the body that we'll be cutting out, and our spider's legs. You're going to start by decorating your spider's legs any way that you want. I'm going to try some different kinds of lines. A wavy line, a zigzag line, a dotted or dashed line. I'm changing the colors of my crayons often. Here's a curly line. On these legs, maybe I'll try some shapes, like some triangles, some circles, squares, and some rectangles. I think I'll color in my spider's eyes. I think I'm going to give my spider some bright orange eyes. And if you color outside the lines like this, it's okay, because we're going to be cutting out our spider's body. We're going to cut out all the parts, and we're going to cut on these dashed lines you see. I'm going to do some big curved lines on my spider's body. Something like this. When you're done coloring in your spider, you can put your crayons to the side, and you're going to pick up your scissors. A reminder that our thumb goes in the small hole, and our thumb is pointing up, and 2 or maybe 3 fingers go into the bottom, the larger space. Our pinky is not part of cutting, so you can tuck your pinky in and put it aside, because our pinky just rests against our palm when we cut. I keep my scissors with my thumb side up. If I ever see my other fingers, then I know, and I can't see my thumb, then I know my scissors are upside down. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting, and when I cut, my scissors are always facing away from me, just like this, and my paper is what turns. I'm going to do my best to cut down these dashed lines to make all 8 legs of my spider separate. It's okay if you make a mistake and accidentally cut through one leg like this, but do your best to stay on the line if you can. If that happens, you can choose to leave this bit or go back and trim it off. Remember, I'm turning my paper and not my scissors. If you find that your hand is turning like this, straighten your wrist back out and turn just the paper, not your hand and not your wrist. You want your scissors pointing away from you the whole time. That's not just for safety, that's because that's the right posture for our hand to do its best cutting. It's a little bit trickier when you get to curved shapes. When I have something like this, I like to just bubble cut by taking off any extra pieces that I don't need and then going back and doing the cutting. And to do this, I'm using my helping hand the entire time. This is my helping hand, the one that's not holding the scissors, to keep turning my paper. My scissors stay still, except for going up and down. They don't turn. Just my paper is what turns. I can clear out my space by putting any scraps I don't need to the side. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the eyes, where I bubble cut first, And now I'm going to go back and I'm turning my paper, not turning my scissors, doing my best to cut it out. Turning my paper, not turning my scissors, doing my best to cut it out. It's okay if yours doesn't come out as straight or as perfectly curved as the lines are themselves. We know that you're doing your best work. I'm going to uncap my glue stick by twisting like this. I'm going to raise up the glue by twisting the bottom. And I'm going to put some glue first on the back of the eyes of my spider and stick those down. And then I'm going to take each of my spider's legs and I'm going to flip them all over. And one leg at a time, I'm going to put a little glue on the end of my leg and stick it to my spider. Repeat that for all your spider's legs. Make sure that you're pressing with your hand to stick down those legs really well. Whoops, I got the glue on the wrong side of my spider's leg. That's okay. I'll flip it over, put glue on the back, and keep trying. I've got 4 more legs to glue down. Gluing on the back and sticking it down as I go. It's a lot of work to do all this cutting and gluing, and your hand might be getting tired. You're almost done. Once you've gotten this far and your spider is looking really good, screw the glue stick back down, screw the cap back on. And this is where you're going to get your ribbon that has a little loop in the end. The end that does not have a loop, you are going to hold that over your spider, and a grown-up can help you with this part. You're going to take a small piece of tape, tear it off, and stick it down to your spider. And now my spider can dance around. And that's how we're going to make our paper spiders today.